If you're sitting down to paint and you know you only have 10 or 15 minutes, how do you simplify your subject matter so that it takes less time? And what things are essential to include in order to still get a great painting? In this video, I'm going to offer you some useful tips for how you can create a great painting even if you only have a little bit of time, while also showing you ways you can really finish a painting when you do have more time. Maybe like me, you've committed to painting something every single day so that you can practice and improve your skills. That is such an awesome goal. But let's face it, most of us don't have hours and hours to leisurely sit and enjoy painting. I'm a mom of two littles, so I understand the frustration of feeling like you don't have enough time to achieve your goals. Well, I want you to know that it is possible to make meaningful progress in your art, even in short amounts of time. Here are my top tips for creating fast paintings that still make an impact. Number 1, do a quick sketch. Only draw enough information that you need to start painting. Try to get the basic shapes and only put down light markings. Don't spend tons of time on the drawing. Keep it super simple. Number 2, start with the dark values, wet on dry. But aren't you supposed to work light to dark, painting in layers? Not always. You heard me right. When I'm painting quickly, trying to get a fast watercolor sketch outdoors or painting a person from life, I like to dive in with the darkest value shapes first. This takes some courage for sure, but it really saves time to block in everything quickly, and painting your dark values in just one layer is not only faster than painting in layers, but it also has a more immediate, transparent look to it and a freshness that you just don't get with multiple layers. And you don't have to wait nearly as long for the paint to dry. Number 3, use a brush that can do it all. This painting is only 3.5 by 5 inches, but I stuck with my size 8 round brush for most of it. This brush is large enough to cover broad areas quickly and can come to a small enough point to paint something as tiny as an eyelash. Not having to switch back and forth between different brushes can save time. Number 4, include only the essential details. How do you know what is essential? Try squinting your eyes at your reference. What are the major shapes and colors that you can still see when all the fine details are blurred out? Whatever you can still see when you squint is what you want to try to include. When I squint at my reference photo, I see a strong, dark upper lip shape defined by some key highlights above the lip and on the top of the lower lip. I see a dark shadow beneath the lower lip, and there are a couple of strong striations in the lower lip that stand out. One of the most important things to look for is any area where you see a dark shape next to a light shape, such as the dark corner of the mouth on the right side next to the bright highlight on the lower lip. That area of contrast is really going to catch the viewer's eye. So it's a good place to put both your lightest and your darkest values, as well as your hardest edges. If you get the values right, your painting will look real. Number 5, ask yourself, what can I leave out? In this painting, I chose not to fill the whole paper with skin color. I did a few brush strokes to suggest the skin around the mouth, but left out the shadows under the cheekbones, the nose, and other details that might distract from the whole point of the painting, that is, the lips. Because I painted quickly, I didn't include all of the skinny highlights, the shadows, the fine lines in the lips. Painting those in great detail would have taken a lot of time. Number 6, don't soften every edge. You'll notice in my quick study, there are quite a few hard edges where I put down a quick brush stroke and just left it alone. This goes against my normal urge to blend every single edge and make my transitions flawless, but when you're painting fast, it's essential to let go of some of that control and to just let the paint do its thing. The bottom line is, if you get the values correct, even a quickly rendered painting can look amazing and lifelike. Now, you might be wondering, how would I approach this same painting if I knew I had a lot more time? Well, for the second study, which took about twice as long as the first one, I approached it with the mindset of having an unlimited amount of time, so there are quite a few things I did differently with this painting. Number 1, I took a little extra time on the sketch. I spent a little more time making sure that my measurements were correct, and I even added a few more of the details in the lips. Number 2, I started wet and wet instead of wet on dry. When you do have more time, you can paint with multiple layers. Instead of diving in with the dark brown, I started this one with light blue of all the colors to represent the highlights in the skin. And then I added light washes of brown and alizarin crimson, just allowing the colors to blend side by side and wet. With my second layer, I went in with my darker shadow shapes. Number 3, I used a greater variety of colors. When I have more time to study my image and decide on colors, I'm afforded the luxury of choosing my mixes more carefully. The upper lip in my second study is a much more complex combination of colors than my quick study, but the values are the same. Number 4, I was more careful to include highlights and details. Spending more time on this one allowed me to give the lower lip a more polished, plump, three-dimensional look, and I was more intentional with each striation, and I included a lot more texture on both the upper lip and the lower lip. Number 5, I blended those edges. Except for those key areas with strong contrast, I spent a lot more time laying down brush strokes and then softening the edges. There aren't any jagged or uneven looking brush strokes in this iteration of the painting. Number 6, I used a variety of brushes. Because I had more time, I switched back and forth between my size 8 round brush, and I used some smaller brushes, especially for the tiny lines in the lips. Number 7, I had more time, so I was able to finish and refine. I painted more of the skin around the lips, adding more detail than the quick study version. So there you can see the two paintings side by side. The first one was completed in 15 minutes, and the second one took 32 minutes. You can see what is possible with both a small amount of time and also what you can do when you are fortunate enough to have the time to take your painting a step further. If you'd like to try this painting for yourself, it is available to watch in real time. Just head over to emilyolsonart.com to check out all of the full-length, fully narrated tutorials that are currently available, and I'm adding more every single month. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon.